All right, wood carvers. Today, we're tackling one of the trickiest but most rewarding parts of human figure carving, hands and feet. They're small, detailed, and packed with curves and subtle shapes that can really bring a carving to life. Understanding the correct proportions, symmetry, and anatomical structure is key to making these features look realistic. To make things even more interesting and easier to follow, we'll be working on a slightly larger scale project so you can clearly see all the details and techniques in action. This time, our project is a unique and challenging one, a hand grasping a foot. This is an excellent exercise for capturing natural hand positioning and foot curvature. If you've ever struggled with carving fingers, toes, or realistic folds, this tutorial will break it down step by step. Let's dive in. First things first, let's go over the tools and materials for the job. For wood, we're using basswood. It's soft, easy to carve, and excellent for beginners because it holds detail well without being too hard on your tools. If you're more advanced, walnut is also a good choice for its durability and fine grain. As for tools, you'll need a few essentials: a sharp carving knife for precision cuts and shaping details, a variety of gouges, a larger one for removing bulk material, a smaller one for refining features and curves, a V-tool for creating sharp edges, wrinkles, and fine details. Additionally, you may also find a small handsaw useful for making precise separation cuts between fingers and toes. And if you're working on intricate features, clamps or a vise can help keep your piece stable, making carving safer and more controlled. So let's kick off the carving process. Before we start shaping this hand-foot combination, we need to prepare the wood properly. Since this project has depth, start by gluing 2 wood blocks together to create a solid base. Once the glue dries, attach the pattern to 4 sides, front, top, and sides, to keep the proportions accurate from every angle. Then, use a saw to cut the block down to the rough size of the project, leaving extra material where the fingers and toes will be carved for better detailing later. Secure your workpiece with a clamp to keep it stable. Using a gouge, carefully remove bulk material, gradually shaping the overall structure of the hand and foot. Work in controlled strokes to maintain symmetry and avoid taking off too much at once. Once the rough shape is established, use a pencil to redraw key guidelines, refining the proportions before moving on to finer details. Carefully cut between the fingers using a handsaw, making sure not to remove too much material at once. The goal is to create separation while maintaining structural integrity. Cut along the contours of the fingers, gradually rounding them out. Pay attention to knuckles, which are slightly raised, and the natural curve of each finger. Use a smaller gouge and a carving knife to create realistic curves and hand structure. Focus on individual finger thickness, spacing, and subtle joint bends. Use a knife to carve each toe, transitioning to a larger gouge to smooth out the shape and prevent chipping. Toes are typically shorter and more rounded than fingers, so keep that in mind. A V-tool is ideal for carving toenail edges. Keep them slightly curved rather than flat to mimic a natural look. This is a tricky part. Use a smaller gouge and knife to carefully carve out the negative space between the fingers and the foot, ensuring it looks natural and has depth. Hands have natural folds where the fingers bend and where the palm meets the thumb. Use a V tool to carve these details carefully, keeping them subtle but noticeable. Once the main features are defined, sand the surface to remove rough edges and refine details. Using a clamp during sanding helps keep the piece stable. Remove any excess material from the base and refine the connection points between the hand and foot to ensure a natural, seamless look. Using a V tool, carve subtle vein patterns on the foot to enhance realism. Less is more. Keep them faint and natural looking. There you go, a fully crafted piece, showcasing a human hand holding a foot, loaded with precise and intricate details. This project is a great way to refine your skills in hand and foot anatomy, practice fine carving techniques, and challenge yourself to capture the natural form of the human body. If you give this project a shot, let us know how it goes in the comments. And for more wood carving tips, in-depth tutorials, and project ideas, hit that subscribe button. Keep carving, and we'll see you in the next one.